Tzu Chi volunteers and doctors conduct initial examinations for patients before receiving surgeries. The wife of the deputy CEO Chen Shaoming passed away and became a silent mentor. Welcome to the Headlines. I'm Maggie Tai. Thank you for joining us. Since Typhoon Haiyan in 2013, Tzu Chi volunteers have continued to offer support to residents in Leyte province in the form of free medical care each year. The most recent medical outreach this year will be held in Ormoc at a local hospital. In order to expedite helping all the patients this time, the volunteers and doctors are conducting some initial examinations of the patients who will receive surgery half a month ahead of the scheduled free clinic. Let's take a look.
It's been a year and 73-year-old Estelita Mata is reunited with the doctor who performed cataract surgery on her. This year, she's come back to get the other eye taken care of.
I won't be like the first time in Taco Bell where I ran away. I remember feeling so ashamed of my behavior afterwards because the volunteers and doctors were all very kind.
After my mother's vision was restored in her right eye, she has changed. She is happier and more positive. Thank you, Tzu Chi, and all the volunteers and doctors. Because of your help, my mother is how she is today.
Thank you to Tzu Chi Foundation. Your help means so much to people who could barely see due to cataracts. It is truly painful not being able to see anything.
The volunteers are borrowing a local hospital in Ormoc to host the free clinic this year. On this day, besides the medical staff, many of the local volunteers came forth to do their parts.
Seeing them happy that Tzu Chi conducted these free checkups and surgeries make us volunteers happy as well.
Before, my mindset was as long as I am able to perform my duty, it's fine. But after attending the TMA convention this year, I was really humbled to see medical professionals volunteering and giving their time. So when I got back to this hospital, I told myself that I will not only perform my duty as a social worker, but I will extend my patience and my services to people in need.
Hand in hand, volunteers and medical staff work in harmony to help Ormoc citizens see one person at a time.
Philippine Tzu Chi volunteers work with Rotary Club of Cebu to conduct a book donation on the Cabilao Island. They hope to provide new textbooks for the impoverished children so they can perform better on their studies and change their future.
Ipagamit nila ang libro nga among nadawat sa maayong atiman niini.
Philippine Tzu Chi volunteers carry boxes of books and change many different forms of transportation to travel to a remote island, Cabilao.
Tungod niini ang atong eskwelahan.
These textbooks and notes are very beneficial. The senior students can have their own textbooks so they can concentrate on researching the subjects the Ministry of Education assigned them.
Sa Department of Education ang research sa mga bata.
I'm very happy to receive these textbooks because it can benefit my studies in class.
3 months earlier, Tzu Chi signed a contract with the Bohol government to host dental clinic on the island. The book donation this time is meant to serve further needs as Tzu Chi cooperated with the Rotary Club of Cebu. This means that great love will continue to spread. In China, many regions of the northeast are farming villages such as Tielin city of Liaoning province. Over 80% of the families are of grandparents raising grandchildren, as the parents of the kids have left to make a living in the city. Tzu Chi volunteers hope by visiting these families that their love and care can help fulfill some of that missing love from their children's parents.
谁负责你讲，就是政府它都是有的，这个意识。
Tzu Tzu Chi volunteers have yet to reach their door, and Li Shixun and his family have rushed out to greet them. The volunteers are worried about Shixun keeping up at school as he has just begun junior high.
If you have homework you don't understand, you can ask me. If you are at school, ask the teacher. No matter which subject, the teacher will be able to help you.
Raised by his grandparents, Li Shixun is a good kid who helps around the house and on the farm.
Cixun is always around the neighborhood, offering to lend a hand to the elderly in the village. He is the same at school, helping our fellow students or teachers. He is well known as a helpful person.
He's also saving money to help others.
Tzu Chi is helping me, and I feel from my heart that I should donate. I don't have much, but I can do what I can to help because they have given me much assistance.
Song Jingnan, who was in the 6th grade, is also raised by his grandparents. Tzu Chi volunteers hope to fill some of the missing love from his parents.
The child is a little introverted because his family isn't like his peers. He lacks confidence and doesn't talk much. We want to bathe the child in a loving environment in hopes to fulfill some of his missing parental love.
Here in the farming village, it's not uncommon to find grandparents raising their grandchildren. Thankfully, Tzu Chi's loving care can help fill the gap as the children continue to grow up to be a proper person.
A 6-year-old girl from Taichung, Taiwan experienced high fever for several days and vomiting, as well as diarrhea and green urine. When taken to the doctors, they diagnosed her with contracting salmonella infection. This bacterial infection is very widespread in the summer months as the high temperatures help facilitate the bacterial multiplications. Approximately 90% of those who get salmonella end up with gastrointestinal infection, which disappears on its own in a few days. For those with a weak immune system like children or the elderly, the symptoms are more severe. Let's take a look at the prevention methods in today's medical report.
When it's hot outside, a good way to keep cool with food is to eat a cold dish. But often, when dishes are left sitting out, it can go bad. In Taichung, a 6-year-old girl went to the hospital for symptoms of vomiting, diarrhea, and green urine. After diagnosis, doctors treated her for salmonella.
Salmonella can move from the intestines to the bloodstream and other parts of the body. At most severe, it can lead to sepsis or urinary infection. That's when the urine becomes green.
Salmonella often spreads by eating food which has been contaminated by feces. This infection is very widespread in the summer, as the temperatures are a perfect breeding ground.
There are elements of this bacterial infection in the environment, and it's easy for the bacteria to multiply in warm environments.
90% of people who come into contact with salmonella show symptoms of gastrointestinal infection. But if it's little children, older adults, or those who have a weak immune system, they can develop sepsis. This bacterial infection is often attached to food, and little children with a weak immune system are more susceptible to it.
Through
eating with unclean hands, salmonella is easily ingested. Washing hands before eating is important.
The best way to prevent salmonella infection is to wash your hands before eating, avoid eating raw food, eat foods which have been cooked thoroughly, and putting food in the fridge. If someone has salmonella in the family, their meals should be separated from the rest of the family to avoid further spreading of the bacterial infection.
The deputy CEO of Tzu Chi Foundation, Chen Shaoming, passed away last month. And less than a month later, his wife, Chen Huangyue, has also passed away on the 9th of October due to illnesses. After the Jingse Boat's Dharma Masters and Tzu Chi volunteers chanted Tzu Chi for her, her body was sent to Tzu Chi University, where she became a silent mentor.
Remember that we are Buddhist practitioners and the disciples of Buddha and the Master. We are Tzu Chi volunteers. Let go of your worries and feel carefree. Go with pure heart and return with a carefree mind.
The Dharma Masters of Jingse Boat helped chant Buddhist sutras for Chen Huangyue, giving her their best wishes and seeing her off in the last journey of her life. The Dharma Masters softly delivered their best wishes for Chen Huangyue. On the night of October 9th, she passed away due to heart and lung failures. She is the wife of the late Deputy CEO of Tzu Chi Foundation, Chen Shaoming. Chen Shaoming passed away in September. The couple seem to have made a promise to spend their lives together and leave the world together.
I'm grateful to the Master for caring for my family. I hope that my mother can walk the Bodhisattva path with my father and return to the sentient world together.
For 30 years, Chen Huangyue and her husband worked hard to benefit the public. In the end, with the best wishes of Jingse Boat Dharma Masters, she was able to fulfill her wish and become a silent mentor. May she walk on the path of enlightenment life after life.
In Malaysia, there is a seamstress, Tan Hui, who used to distrust people due to work pressure. After coming into contact with Tzu Chi, she was touched by the care and companionship of Malacca volunteers. She then realized that when helping others, one actually benefits oneself.
A seamstress needs to understand the customer's needs. Since she was afraid of being misunderstood, Tan Hui has gotten used to being so straightforward that people were afraid of getting close to her.
In the past, if she made a mistake, she would be afraid and cried. Because I was often hurt in interpersonal relationships, I learned to oppress my feelings. I felt that I needed to protect myself.
She learned about Tzu Chi through recycling. Then she felt the positive energy by reading Jing's aphorisms.
In the past, she was more hot-tempered, and work made her more upset. I could not have a good interaction with her. Then I tried to help her through Jing's aphorisms. This phrase allows me to remind myself. Sometimes when we encounter difficulties, we will feel resent and want to say something negative. Then we will say something we should not say.
The volunteers kept inviting Tan to join their activities. Therefore, she dedicated herself to home visits and recycling.
Making the environment more comfortable and cleaner is better for her health. Good. When you drop coins into the coin bank, say, I will behave, I will do a good job. It is a cycle of kindness, and we need to let them know about it.
Tan, who has become a leader on the home visit team, has learned to care about others with love, and she seizes opportunities to give of herself.
I have seen how she has grown. In the past, she needed someone to go with her, but now she can go independently. When we interact with people, we should not only accomplish the task at hand, but we should try to do a good job. This is what I learned at Tzu Chi. Exercise till you sweat is good for your blood circulation and health.
After joining Tzu Chi for 11 years, Tan has grown much. This year, she will travel to Taiwan to be certified as a volunteer with everyone's best wishes.
People have given me much love and care.
In Northern California, Tzu Chi continued to promote the Happy Campus program, which nurtures the disadvantaged students to reach for a broader knowledge. Volunteers also teach kindergarten children Tzu Chi humanistic culture every week.
是讲师，然后汪慧跟 Vivian 是那个指导志工。我这边
Happy Campus program has different projects. They run weekly, quarterly, by semester and school year. So we do need a lot of volunteers.
table 一个，每一个 table 一个 number 不见得 exactly the same， 那你就是看他们谁要就平均分一。
Every week, we will need around 20 volunteers to help school run the events 4 to 5 hours. We teach kindergarten students Tzu Chi humanity classes.
So the curriculum was designed by a number of volunteers. I'm one of them. The other couple of volunteers actually have teaching background. So they were like kindergarten teachers before or elementary school teachers. So they're able to contribute on the material. We kind of decided to do it on theme basis by the season. And that's how we kind of come up with these consistency. Because this is other ones that we did is on like 2 minutes, but this is 4 minutes.
Yeah. After they watch the video and review and ask questions.
So we're done with this one. So are we on to the next one, right? For the Happy Campus program, we have a set of curriculum team. We meet like once a month. On our Monday's meeting, we will try to figure out what kind of activity we can do with the kids that would reinforce the idea of reduce. And basically the theme is 3R, reduce, reuse, recycle. We want to demonstrate to them what they can use to reduce. We were playing too as an adult, experimenting, which way to cut the paper will make it fly better. The whole team come up with the idea of reusing magazine paper or newspaper for some kind of art craft, but it will be something fun for the kids too. Okay. I think it takes the time for kids to using their motor skill as well as learn the idea of how to use what we would consider as garbage or trash, but reuse them or reduce the trash and reuse them for something fun and some activity that they enjoy to do. So I think it turned out to be a really fun activity for the kids. I was so glad to see the kids also become a scientist of experimenting with different things and see how they play out.
Fold the paper. In here at the Happy Campus, the kids are really great. Some of them are really bright, some of them are really need some special care. So it's a mixed environment. It's totally different from the bubble of Cupertino. If you give them the right opportunity and right resources, they can do wonders.
1, 2, 3.
Time is probably the most valuable thing that we can give, right? I find it amazing that you guys come over and you give us your time. You really share your time with us. I really want to say, please keep coming. We're not talking about financially. I'm talking about the emotional part of it. I'm talking about the time. That's what we appreciate, and the good heart that Tzu Chi has. Thank you so much.
The Happy Campus program benefits are not only for students but also for the parents. The school offers free cooking courses to let parents and students enjoy the healthy lifestyle, promote vegetarianism in response to saving the planet as well.
At this school, at Belhaven School, there is no PTA, there's no PTO, so there is no communication between the school and the parent other than the parent conference. So the principal actually feel that he needs to communicate to the parents, but he doesn't have time. So he said, maybe you guys can be my spokesperson to the parents too, and come up with something to involve the parents.
We had the responsibility not only educating our children, we had to educate our parents, and that's part of why we do the Parent University, so that they are empowered and inspired to help their children as much as possible.
So your parents have all these things they could do to help you be successful. And we're keeping track. And then when your parents...
Whereas in another community, the parents have, graduate degrees and speak English perfectly and support their kids at home and teach them, to add and subtract and to read. So the kids really come to school ready to learn compared to our children that come to school needing more supports from us that aren't necessarily provided at home.
And so we came up with this idea of parent workshop, and also to help the school communicate some message to them. For example, the importance of coming to school on time, perfect attendance. What are some of the things that they can do to help their student at home doing homework and things like that. And then we come up with interesting things for the parents to do. Making sushi has been a popular request.
So we're going to put the rough side up, about like 3/4 of the rice. I'm going to put a little bit, like one line.
I learned how to make sushi. I've always wanted to learn because my daughter likes it very much.
I like their classes a lot. I learned a lot from the classes. I wanted to attend this sushi class because my daughter loves sushi.
This is a vegetarian sausage. I cut in 4 and then I cut like...
I think we made a vegetarian roll today. The most difficult part for me was rolling it. It got a little messy, but with your help, I managed to roll it up.
It's not very difficult, but I think the most difficult part was rolling it together.
We promote vegetarian, so we try to promote that as well. Eating fruit and vegetables are healthier, and they should eat more.
Normally, we always go out to eat, and it's expensive, right? So now that I know, I think I'll be making it at home.
Through word of mouth that parents have attended our workshop a number of times, we're getting more and more people to come in. And we're getting to know them because I start to see familiar faces.
Now they all love going over and learning how to make sushi with you guys. And they go, oh, they're making sushi, we're gonna go. So I just find that the energy you bring into the school district, or at least into our school here in Belhaven, is fabulous.
Thank you. I like it.
Every September on the lunar calendar is the birth of the Night Emperor. Johor Bahru in Malaysia hosted a carnival to celebrate the event. City volunteers have participated for the 6th year to promote recycling concepts. Before the venue, volunteers conducted a briefing to explain their mission to the chief organizers. We'll leave you with these images and goodbye.